no longer ashamed to say that the start of my journey as a mother was definitely rocky and painful for both me and my daughter. I was 23 and single and had no help or guidance on how to be a proper mom. I was always so frustrated and short with my daughter and just thinking about how I treated her back. I wasn't abusive by any means, but I definitely was tougher on her than she needed me to be and a lot less patient. And it wasn't until one day that I heard my own voice as I was telling her to do something as simple as clean her room that I realized I was beginning to carry on generational curses. In this video, I'm sharing habits that I developed that helped me to heal my relationship with my daughter and make us to be the best friends we are today. If you're new here, welcome. Hi, I'm Iesha, and on this channel, I am all about rebuilding a meaningful, beautiful life from the middle. I just want to help women who feel behind, stuck, or discouraged learn how to rebuild their lives with intention, practically, mentally, and spiritually, whether that includes starting over, learning life skills, rebuilding confidence, motherhood without losing the dream, and creating a hopeful future even when life feels delayed. I teach and reflect while I rebuild. I am not at the finish line yet, but I am intentional and honest, and I just want to bring others along as I create a better life in real time. So growing up, I watched the women in my life cook and clean, but mostly for the men who they seem to care more about than themselves. And in my home, I always felt like an afterthought, and the sound of my voice triggered some anger and anxiety in my mom. She was very short with me, and it seemed like the only time we talked was if she was lecturing me or scolding me. I knew I didn't want to continue this pattern with my daughter, but somehow the pattern started. I would fuss and have such a negative tone when trying to get her to clean her room, stop crying over things that I felt were small. But little did I know I was raising someone who would have an avoidant attachment style. An avoidant attachment style is an insecure attachment pattern characterized by a high need for independence, discomfort with emotional intimacy, and a tendency to suppress feelings or withdraw during conflict. This develops in childhood due to emotionally unavailable caregivers, and adults with this style often fear losing autonomy, view dependency as weak, and rely solely on themselves to avoid vulnerability. Do you know anyone like this? A child could develop an avoidant attachment if they are conditioned to believe their feelings don't matter and their emotions only cause trouble. That, as well as anxious attachment, where they constantly need to be validated. And if I'm honest, that is definitely me. But one thing I can say is if I recognize I'm wrong or I'm developing a pattern, I will work on myself and work to the bone to change and turn away from it, especially when it comes to motherhood. Now, it's no secret that being a parent is hard, and what makes it even harder is when you as the adult still feel like you're young yourself, not in age but in mindset. Like I often felt wrong for even making a mistake as a parent because I haven't quite developed the patience, skills, and a mindset to be a good parent. I'm still learning life myself, so how could I possibly raise someone when I'm still being raised myself? But I remember a quote that says, God doesn't call the qualified, He qualifies the called. God does not look for the most skilled, educated, or talented people. Instead, He calls ordinary people and provides them with the strength, skills, and grace needed for the task. So one day, I asked God for wisdom and to teach me how to be a better mother. I no longer wanted to use the excuse that I didn't know what I was doing. So I went to the one who created both me and my child. And one day, something just clicked and our relationship changed. I slowly found myself working on these biblical principles and habits that truly helped me to become as close to my baby girl as I am today. Number one, I changed my tone and my body language. That goes a long way. You can say something multiple ways, but the kindest way is the one that's not just heard, but received even from a child. Number two, I defined the difference between biblical discipline and borderline abuse. Yelling and screaming isn't biblical discipline. In fact, Proverbs 15:1 says, a soft answer turns away wrath, but a harsh word stirs up anger. And Proverbs 31:26 says, she opens her mouth with wisdom, and the teaching of kindness is on her tongue. This describes a godly woman as someone who speaks with kindness, wisdom, and gentleness, not yelling or harshness, even if the other person does something wrong. I learned how to handle situations with grace and remember that I am not perfect. I'm not saying to neglect discipline, but discipline with respect. Number three, I constantly remind myself even now of what God says I should be doing, not only as a mother, but as a woman. Researching biblical womanhood daily, even on Pinterest, truly helps me understand the godly traits a woman of God should have as a mother, as a wife, and as a woman in general. And this is something I'm also teaching my daughter, how to truly be a woman of God. Number four, I see my daughter as a person, not as someone I can control. I began validating her feelings and emotions, and when she's sad or upset, I console her instead of telling her to stop crying. Even when they're toddlers, I know a lot of us moms' auto response is to say, stop crying, but I found it way more helpful to ask why she was crying and give her space to explain. Even that moment is teachable for the both of us because it teaches me patience and gentleness and also teaches her to work through her emotions and identify them and not use them as weapons to get what she wanted. Number five, I spend more fun time with her. This is a big one. Even when kids are upset, they will always remember the fun times. I truly want the good days to outweigh the bad, and that was my issue growing up. The good days were so sparse I could barely remember them. With my daughter, I set time weekly for mommy-daughter days, and honestly, it's her favorite thing in the world. Even going to get ice cream and sit and eat Chick-fil-A after school or going to the library, sometimes I can't make it extravagant like a beach day or shopping, but the true value comes from the time that we are together. We laugh like we're best friends, and we truly enjoy each other's company. Number 6, this one's super important, at least in my relationship with my daughter. I am as open as I possibly can with her. I still try to protect her from things that a child really doesn't need to worry about right now, but I do try to be as honest and open with her as I possibly can. I have shared my past with her. I share why mommy sometimes gets angry easily. I share that I suffer from depression and anxiety. I share that sometimes I just don't feel like a good mom. And her responses are always mind-blowing. She's always so quick to encourage me, saying, "It's okay, mommy," or "You're a great mom, mommy." And sometimes she'll even remind me to take a break. If I don't have money for something, I share with her instead of saying no, she can't have it, or just lying about it like our parents did. And I have found a balance when it comes to sharing that I think varies from child to child depending on their maturity and ability to handle certain things. And number 7, which is just as equally as important, I apologize to her. I show humility. I show I'm human. I show that I'm still growing just like she is. Some of us don't realize a simple "I'm sorry" goes a very long way, especially with kids. We can learn a lot from them. Kids keep things very simple, whereas adults, we tend to overthink, overreact, and overcomplicate things. The one thing I wish I would have gotten growing up was a simple "I'm sorry." And I felt like I was a very reasonable child. I didn't expect my mom to apologize for taking my CD player when I knew I did something I wasn't supposed to do. But I did expect an apology for when she would judge and condemn me for something I didn't do, or when she would attack my character or insult my intelligence by saying I'm stupid or something like that. Those things hurt and definitely affected how I view myself as an adult. Even as we speak, I'm still healing. So one thing I always and purposely do is apologize to my child. I can see when I've said something that hurt her or reacted in a way that could cause permanent damage. And before the enemy speaks lies to her that I don't love her, I apologize immediately. That also teaches her to understand forgiveness, because we're all human and it's never fair to expect someone to be perfect. But I also teach her to know the difference between someone being truly sorry and someone using sorry as a form of manipulation. And she's truly so forgiving and understanding, and this alone has truly helped to heal my relationship with her. So if you've noticed it's been hard to communicate with your children, or you feel you're both not understanding each other, feel free to take my habits and implement them in your relationship with your kids. I'm no parenting expert at all, but I genuinely believe it takes a village to raise our kids, and it takes a village to learn how to be better mothers. There's no specific manual on how to communicate with each individual child, but God does give a lifeline and guidance on how to navigate this tough life, especially as mothers. It's just not talked about enough. Just know God knows your heart, and if you even clicked on this video, it shows that you have a heart that wants to do your best and wants to give your child the best. Give yourself some grace and talk with God. He knows what you're going through. He knows you and your child better than anyone, and He alone can give you wisdom and guidance on how to be the best mother you can be. After all, He's the one who charged you with this awesome calling, so trust that He will give you the tools and resources and people you need to do His will. I hope this video helped you in some way, shape, or form. If you enjoyed this chat or can relate in any way, please like, comment, and subscribe. Until next time, my love, God bless you. Goodbye.